Hello folks, Ed Overstreet, and this is my third night in a row that I've been able to image. It is unusual for South Carolina, but it's the last night for a while because we have some cloudy, rainy type of weather on its way. So what I thought I would do is pick up where I left off last night because I'm still imaging the Orion region with one scope, and I did finish the Siamese twins, and I'll show you where I'm at with that so far. And I did a little processing on it, and I'm going to be imaging 4244 NGC 4244, which is the Needle galaxy, starting at around 9 o'clock. But I'm going to run the calibration routine in Phd2, and then I'm going to run the guiding assistant, and I'll show you how I do those two tasks. So let's get started. Whoops. That was the fastest video I've ever done. Oh, Lord. But it isn't over, guys. Let's go find my screen, and hit screen share, I thought, and I hit the end. So anyway, we should be... okay, why aren't we screen sharing? There you go. Right now, this is the Orion region again, and we are... I'm imaging it right now with some with hydrogen alpha, and so I'll show you what I've gathered so far and what I've yet to take tonight. So here's my sequence. We're running hydrogen alpha right now. That's the event, and we're going to take a total of 25 frames at 180 seconds long. We have 15 already in the can. Then we're going to take some more red at 60 seconds for a total of 100, and green 60 seconds for a total of 100, and blue at 60 seconds. Then we're going to knock off another 15 oxygen, and I'll be done with this. I've got about, I started out with about 2 hours of imaging that I would need, and so we're got about an hour and 41 seconds left. If I look at the planning tool, you can see that I'm going to fall below the 30-degree horizon limit that I set for myself at 1050. So it's we're looking at about 2 hours of imaging time before it gets too low. It's really too low. It's too low at 35 degrees, but here's 40 degrees. But I'm going to image anyway because I'm not shooting over Spartanburg. I'm shooting kind of out over one of the darker areas in my suburban neighborhood. All right, that's what's going on with kit number one, and I'll bring up the outside cameras. Log on. I'll just closed it again. And so this camera is the one that's imaging right now. This one's still parked. And so what we're going to do is we're going to go run a calibration, and then we're going to run the guiding assistant and probably accept those parameters and then let it guide for a while because we're waiting until 9 o'clock, a little after 9 before we image. So let's crank it up and head over to that kit. Let me see if I can get rid of me in here. Hang on just a minute. I'm going to move over to... Well, it won't do it. And I don't know why it won't. Alright, let's go back. This just kind of gets in the way. Let me go back again and move me. Try that. Maybe a little better. Okay. Let's now we're still back at the Orion region. Alright. What I want to do though, I want to make sure that I'm not parked, and I'm not. And I'm going to bring up this planetarium software called Cartez-du-Ciel. That is not how you pronounce it, but I have no clue how to pronounce it. And when people pronounce it for me correctly, I still can't repeat it. The Romantic languages are not for me. But right now my cursor's right here on the celestial North Pole, where it's supposed to be. And I'm going to go around to the southern meridian, which is right here. And I want to pick a star that's close to zero declination, and and also is on the west side of the meridian, because were I to pick one over here, and you want to pick one fairly close to the meridian, were I to pick one over here and I run a long guiding assistant, then there's a good possibility that it may need to flip, and I just don't want to have to fool with having to deal with it. So I'm going to pick. I don't care what star it is. I don't necessarily want a real bright star. I just want a star, and there's stars in any part of the sky, so it doesn't make a difference if you pick it. We just want to find around zero dec. So I'm going to click right there and see where we are. We're at +4, and if I click right here, we're at zero dec. Okay, I don't even know if it's a star, but I'm going to slew there. So I click on slew. Let's go watch it happen. And let's head out to outside, and here it goes. You can count on a star being there. In fact, PhD does better calibrating if it doesn't have a monster star in its field of view. At least that's my take. Alright, I'm not plate solving because, again, all I want it to be, here it is at zero dec. And so let's head over to PhD. Let's clear from last night. How did that get there? Move that back over here. And let's start PhD, connect all. And let's start looping. And let's find a star, and it's found one. And now I'm going to hold down the shift key, and I'm going to click on guide, and it's going to ask me, are you sure you want to force a recalibration? Well, I don't. I'm going to cancel it. I'm going to bring up my hand controller, and I've got it on 2x sidereal, and I'm going to press the north key just slightly, and I'm going to give it a bump. I'm going to take the backlash out. I'm going to go west. So I'm just going north and west to take the backlash out of the mount before I run guiding assistant. And then let's go run it. And that moved the mount all over everywhere. And so we're going to go back to looping, and we're going to click on shift, and we're going to recalibrate. So we can sleep now. So we've got, we can look down here, it's moving west, and here's my calibration star moving out of the frame. And now it's coming back east, and it'll return it, clear out the backlash, and then we'll move west, and then back, and then we'll move north, and then back east, back west, south. This isn't starting out very well. It's clearing the backlash. Last night I was playing some music. I won't do that again. That sounded awful. I'm going to delete that live session. Probably end up deleting this one too. So, now we're moving north. We're 5.8 pixels away from home. And we're 13 steps north and 14 pixels, now 16 pixels. We are now about out of the frame here. And we'll start moving south. I can already tell you about how this is behaving. It's not going to be a great calibration. But I'm not going to run it again unless I get a fail. It won't fail, but it won't be a good one. My RA and my deck are going to be, they're not going to be as close as I like it. Here comes the star back. Here, 13 pixels away, 7 pixels away. And this thing's going crazy. Calibration is substantially different. Have you changed configurations? Yeah, I changed kits. Okay, it started guiding, and so let's go up and look at review calibration. Look at this backlash, and you saw it clearing out the backlash. It did it 22 times, and so my look at my RA rate is 13 and my deck rate is 6. These should be about the same. So I am gonna recalibrate. This bugging me. The guiding's okay, but the calibration's sad. So what we're gonna do is stop. We're going to start looping, and we're going to hold down the shift, and we're going to force another recalibration. Let's clear that out. Clear that out. The guiding was starting out okay, but it would have gotten funky. I know enough to know that I needed to do this again. I don't know much about it, but I know I needed to redo it. I gotta get rid of these windows. Gotta read the directions on how to do that. There, we make it small. That's good. This is part of the streaming software that I use. It's supposed to let me refer to it to make sure that what I'm working on is what you're looking at, because this is what you're looking at. But you're not supposed to be seeing this, and for some reason it's showing up. And I got to figure out how to get me out of there, because I get in the way of the stuff I try to illustrate sometimes, and I'm not needed to be. It's not necessary for me to be in there. Okay, we're coming back. This might be a little better. I'm definitely not redoing if it isn't. Huh. Well, it isn't going to be any better. Let's go back up to Tools, Review Calibration, and 14 and 9, it is better. But again, that's insanity. I don't know what's causing that. But you do want your RA, your declination line and your RA to be perpendicular. They need to be at right angles. And so, at any rate, I'm going to stay with this. I'm going to close it out. And now I'm going to run Guiding Assistant. And you go up to Tools, and you come down to Guiding Assistant. And I'm just going to click OK. And it's going to start. And it'll keep a running total of how much time. And we're going to run this for 5 minutes. Don't be crazy when you see that your polar alignment starts out at being 20 or 30 arc minutes off. Here we're 24 arc minutes off. Give it a chance to settle down. And I'm going to be probably around 2 arc minutes off. I noticed that last night, and I didn't bother to do a polar alignment. And don't be concerned about these 2 lines. Your RA and deck may even leave the picture. That doesn't, just don't be concerned about that. Let it continue to run. Everything's under control. But one of the good things that's happening as you run the Guiding Assistant is that your seeing conditions for this given period of time are being evaluated, and you're going to get some suggestions on what kind of an exposure you should be using for your guiding, and what minimum move settings you should have for your RA and your declination. And I usually just go with those. Whatever they suggest, I accept. And also, I have ran Guiding Assistant for 5 minutes. Come back and run it again for another 5 minutes, and you don't have to go that long. I would run it for at least 2, but I like to start this process so that I have about 5 minutes to run it. And sometimes my polar alignment might be 1 arc minute off. It might be 3 arc minutes. The last couple of times I've ran it's been around 2 arc minutes off. So I can be improved, but I just need to bring out the pole master and do it. And I don't, because I guide okay. I don't guide great, but I guide okay for my kits. And maybe I should change my name from the Night Sky Imager, that's real creative, to the Lazy Astro Imager. I plead guilty. And so we're running this, and you can watch your RMS numbers, and get an idea in arc seconds. I don't pay a whole lot of attention to the pixels, but the RMS in arc seconds. I have a drift of not quite a little over a tenth of a pixel. almost an arc second, which is my drift rate. So over a period of time, every arc second is a measured drift. 1.8 seconds is the drift limiting exposure, so I'll probably image at 1.5 seconds. Also, these two numbers from peak to peak, right ascension, and declination. I like for those to be close. And they're not good. RMS is up to 70. Of course, you can see the 1 second was the current exposure time that I'm using. Oh, when you run this, make sure you're checking for measure declination backlash. And in order to do that, you need to click on the brain, and under algorithms, you need to make sure backlash compensation has been checked, and then you'll have this box. And check that, and it'll measure your declination. All right, we're at 5 minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and stop it. It'll take a few minutes. And it says my polar alignment error is 5.3. It may very well be. It was at 2 point something last night and 2 point something the night before. So it's going to take it a few minutes because it's going to be measuring backlash since I have that option checked. While it's doing its thing, let's head over and see if we ran into any issues. Our guiding looks okay here. I don't know what okay is though, so we'll bring it up. We're at 0.88, 0.93, and there's a dither. So and where are we in our images? We're at 22 with 3 more to take in HA, and then we're going to add 10 more each of red, green, and blue. And I tell you what, I don't think I want any oxygen. I think I'm gonna go up to 35, and I'm just gonna check oxygen. I don't think I want any. So I've got an hour left, and I do like this signal that I'm getting of the Orion region. Here's your horse head and your running man down here, flame, and so it's a nice it's a nice area. Let's just go ahead and do a medium stretch. It's just a nice area of luminosity, and it's showing up pretty good in spite of the fact that I got a moon out. But this, again, this is in hydrogen alpha, which is one of the reasons why I'm going to take more hydrogen and few RGB images tonight. I'm going to be done. 100 each is enough. And I did get 5 last night. And there is some oxygen in the signal and in the image, but I've got plenty of blue. I'll be okay. But the dominant color that comes out of this Orion region isn't blue, it's red. And so hydrogen alpha is the one filter of bandwidth that you're going to see the best or the most signal from. So that's looking pretty decent. And let's go back and see if guiding assistant's still running. Still is. We're at 26 going to 30. And we are closed. It's putting the star back over here. It's restoring it because it went crazy going in different directions. So there it is. It's back. So it's saying that my exposure should be in between 1.5 and 3.5, and so I'm going to go to 1.5. I'm going to always be on the low side of the recommendation, and I do not have high-end mounts, so polar alignment error is greater than 5 arc minutes. That could be probably improved, and it could be. Try setting the RA minimum move to 11. I'll apply that, and to 17. And then it's suggesting that I start with a declination compensation of 2430 milliseconds. I'll apply that. And here's the graph. And there is the measure of my backlash. So this is the ideal, and this is what I'm getting in red. So, and I got a ton of backlash. It's just part of this Orion EQ6 mount, and I have HEQ6 mount, 2 of them, and they both do the same exact thing. So, okay, we have chosen just any star. I just clicked on a region around 0 dec, so don't pain yourself trying to find the perfect star. Just pick a place to the right of the meridian or to west of the meridian, and use any planetary software that slews your gear, and just click there, and there'll be stars to guide on. They're throughout the whole universe, so you won't have to worry about that. And do your calibration, and then run your guiding assistant, set those values, and then later on in the night, if you start getting stuff funky happening, try doing that again. Or completely in the middle of a run, just completely shut Phd down. Just shut it completely down, start it back up again, and your stars aren't going to move that much. It'll be like a dither, and just shut it down and start it right back up again. And oftentimes that just clears out the garbage that's accumulated. I don't know why, but it just does. Give it a try. If it's guiding okay, and then all of a sudden it just gets real funky, then just stop it. Go over here and just disconnect everything. Then come back and connect it all. Start, loop, find you, and maybe you'll find another guide star that's got a better centroid, and then just start guiding again. Also, if you're guiding at 2 or 3 seconds and you're getting funky guiding, drop it down to 1 second or a half a second. I know the conventional wisdom with Phd is to, if seeing's bad, is to bump it up to 3 or 4 seconds, maybe 5 seconds. It doesn't work on my mounts. And again, I've got an advanced VX mount, a Celestron, and the 2 mounts I'm imaging with tonight are Orion. They're the Skywatchers HEQ6s, EQAZ mounts, and they're good mounts, but you're going to have an RMS value around 1. Now last night I was in the 7s, 6s, and 5s and 4s, 40s, 50s, 60s most of the night. It was pretty good. It's all scene related too. Okay, well, right now I'm going to go to the Needle Galaxy. Let's see where it is. It's at 30 degrees. I'm going to go there anyway, run a focus run. So let's make sure my camera outside it's already shut down. Thought it had. It only runs for 5 minutes at a time to save power. and we've cooled to -20, so we're ready to do this. Let's go ahead and stop Phd from guiding. It will automatically, but it'll start beeping at me. And let's clear that out and get ready for our new run. And so let's bring this up, and we can slew over to our target, and let's bring up our outside camera, surveillance camera, and let's make sure that everything works hunky-dory. Look at all the stuff flying around. You see, we're right in the middle of suburbia, and you see all kinds of varmints running around at night. Things flying around. Yeah, this thing's really going to be low at 30 degrees. I may be hitting the back of a house. I won't be. It's okay. It's center. So we're going to plate solve. Yep. Hope you guys, whoever's watching, if you do this for fun, I hope you got clear skies in your neck of the woods. Okay, here's our first picture. The light pollution, I'm that low that as the night wears on, that the skies get so much better looking. Oh, looky here. We're off 2,500 pixels in right ascension and almost 4,300 in. We're nowhere near it. Well, we moved a bunch then. Now we're 53 pixels off in RA and 39 off. We're getting close. There's the galaxy. Sorry, Phd. I didn't mean to hit the mouse. That moved it a little bit, and we're 4 pixels off in deck and 39. I like to get inside of 50 total pixels so that if I come back tomorrow night, I'll be no further apart than a good sized dither. And so let's take about 1/8 second picture, and I want to see what my half flux radius is for my stars. And well, I may have to run it. Click on this. I don't think it has enough stars to run it. Let's take a 15-second image. Hear an airplane going over in the surveillance camera. We can go ahead and close that out. Get that noise out of there. That's interesting. I don't know why it won't give me a rating. I know it's got enough detail in the stars to do so. Well, it may not be able to run a focus routine. Let's go ahead and try running the focus routine. If I was under 2.0, I was going to go ahead and bypass this automatic focuser. Now we got a reading 12.85. It defocused about 300 steps, 400 steps, 300 steps, and now it's bringing it back into focus. Now we're at 7.71. The lower the better. But it's only 4 stars found. This is not going to be good. So there's only looking at 4 stars. Yep, 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know if you can run it with 4. Probably going to need to increase my exposure to like 25 seconds. That's funky. I don't know if it's going to be able to do it. I need to be in the 90s, or I like to be in the upper 90s under a quality rating, but it's far from being over. We're at 90. Let's start going back up now. Because it's racking. No. Well, that might work. Now it's going to start back up. Better quality rating. Now it's going to take a validation. It's going to run it at 714, and we're at 265 at 7.4. No, I'll just leave that. Let's try doing a 8-second frame and see what our huff flux radius is. Won't give me. I've got a bad. Let's do it again. I'm gonna have to change cables. I've been getting this. That's crazy. Alright. Hate doing this, but I'm going to turn this off. I'm going to bring up. I'm going to disconnect this camera. And I'm going to turn this back on. Start cooling again. I'll take one. I don't understand that. Unless somebody outside is. I wonder if my wife's gone out back. Let me bring up the surveillance camera and see if she's turned down the outside lights. Nope. No, we're not in anybody's. Alright, well, we're going to shut down Phd altogether. When you have a fail like that, we're going to save the sequence. I'm going to shut it down. Not Phd, Sequence Generator Pro. I'm going to start it back up. Let's go ahead and start guiding while I'm. Let's bring this up to 1 second. Let's go, yeah, 1 second. Now let's put on. I'm not in really any hurry to start imaging the needle because I'm like right at 30 degrees and I hate to image that low in the sky, so I'm going to play around till my camera, and I may have to go out and just replace the camera cable. Okay, we connected all the gear, and we are going to take an exposure. well, uh, shouldn't be that mucky looking for 8 seconds, but it's stretching it, and I can grab this. Vicious. Alright, well, let's do this again. Let's try running this focus assistant again. Bring back. Cancel. Image statistics up. Now let's try running. While that's running, let's go over and see what's cooking with rig number 1. See, I'm taking 180-second exposures to, well, this is a darker area of Spartanburg. This is going out over Spartanburg County, and the other telescope shooting essentially over the city at 31 degrees. So you don't get, and I do have a moon that's probably somewhere in the neighborhood of 65-70% illuminated, maybe more. I went peeking at it last night. What's going on with our guiding? We're still in the 80s. Let's go back to our other go up to our other kit. We're still trying to focus. Really kind of doing a test, because when I ran the focus routine a while ago, here we have a quality rating of 70 at a position of 710, 95 at 706. Oh, we got a fail now. It's going to run it again. I'm going to go ahead and cancel. Now I want to take an 8-second picture and see if I get a whiteout. I'm going to kind of repeat what happened a while ago. Let's go ahead and cool the camera, because I'm going to start imaging it anyway. Yeah. Well, the last couple of nights, occasionally I'm getting a blown out image, and I'm going to start tomorrow, just because it'll be on my mind when I disconnect and cover everything up because of the weather coming. I'm going to go ahead and I plan to go ahead and change the cable for the second setup. All right, let's go ahead and start running the routine. We've got Phd working. We got our directory. We haven't cooled, which is fine. We're going to run the sequence, and it's going to tell me that we haven't gotten there yet. So I'll delay the start until the temperature gets close. Then it'll automatically start running. So right now, it's going to go ahead and slew to the target, and it's going to plate center, because it assumes that I have it's going to run a focus assistant, because we just changed filters. That's good. I needed to do that. And then it'll plate solve again, because it's assuming that I've moved scope since we originally plate solved. It's going to take a while, so let's head back over. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and end this. We'll take a look at this. I really wanted to, one reason why I wanted to do this, not so much to show anything other than running the calibration routine and the guiding assistant, and that I did. So I hope everybody has a good rest of the evening. I certainly plan to do so, and I'll catch you next time I either go live or put a tutorial type video up.